I don't talk about this every week, but a huge part of my Horizon Navigation framework was shaped long before I ever started coaching solopreneurs and business owners. It started in classrooms and hallways working with students who were blind or visually impaired. Over time, that experience quietly changed the way I think about navigation. I learned very quickly that over there doesn't work when someone can't see. That wave of the hand, a general direction, it just doesn't help. In fact, generally, it creates more confusion. What did help was specificity. Directions sounded more like walk to the end of the counter, then turn right, or you'll find the third doorway on your right as you head down the hallway. There was a level of precision that was required, not to make things complicated, but to make them usable. Just as important as the directions themselves was the pace. It had to match the student's pace, their way of moving through the world, not mine. I remember noticing how different each student was. Some moved very quickly with a cane and confident in their steps. Others moved more slowly, perhaps trailing the wall, taking in information as they went. Some students seemed to have an internal sense of where they were in space, and others needed to pause and reorient more often. None of them were wrong. They were just navigating differently. There were also moments when a student would get turned around, and you could feel that shift, that moment of disorientation. Everything in you wants to step in and fix it, to guide it, to make it easier. What I learned over time, and not always comfortably, is that the most helping thing I could do for students wasn't to show them the way, it was to help them find it. To give just enough support so that they could reorient themselves. To let them experience the process of figuring it out. Because that's where the confidence comes from. That's when navigation becomes theirs. Looking back now, I can see how much these experiences shaped the way I think about progress. Not as something you perfect before you move. It's something that develops as you go. Experience shapes your map. It's interesting how often I still think about those moments now. I'll be sitting with a business owner who feels stuck or unsure of their next step, and there's a familiar feeling in the room. That same sense of, I don't quite know where I am or which way to go. The instinct, so often, is to look for a big answer, a complete plan, a way to figure it all out before taking the next step. More often than not, what actually helps is much simpler. Clear, specific next steps. A pace that fits the person, and the space to learn through the process, not avoid it. A vague direction tends to create anxiety. Yet when the next step is clear and small enough that you feel you can take it, you can move again. As you think about your own life or business this week, here's something to sit with. Where might you need a little more clarity? Not about everything, but about the next step. Where might your pace need to be honored instead of pushed? And where might the bumps along the way be part of how you are learning to navigate, not something that you've done wrong? The way you navigate doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just needs to help you keep moving forward toward what matters most to you. See you next week.